be wrong about thinking the Earth is a spinning ball in a vacuum?
Hell yeah. Anything's possible, man.
Thanks for being honest, man. Because most of
Yeah.
this room will say that they know for a fact, they'll just lie.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. So if it's possible, right, we shouldn't really attack flat earthers because they're just trying to figure out the truth. And if we're being honest, there are some sketchy details, right? Like NASA said they went to the moon in 1969. They just can't go back because they destroyed the technology, and it's a painful process to build it back. And what took us to the moon was actually Nazis, and Nazis were infamous for their propaganda efforts. And they were supposed to go on trial and be hung for war crimes against humanity, right? But they're like, no, we got a little deal for you.
Yeah.
You're so good at propaganda, we need you to convince the American people we went to the moon. And they literally put a Nazi in charge of it. And I guess we can't go back to the moon because we're fresh out of Nazis, right? So, like, that's a reasonable, suspicion that we have to not trust a group of people that would do that, right?
But flat earthers are useless. I mean, you went on a flat earth tour and ended up in jail.
I ended up in jail, and now they're going to have to pay me like $20 million, dude. So I'll be fine. As opposed to bringing up personal things about my life, right? Let's talk about what we're actually talking about, which is, if you're honest, you have to say it is
how
reasonable.
Useless flat earthers are.
It's very reasonable to not trust entity that would do all that.
Yeah, like Nathan Thompson and David Weiss are going to save the world.
Oh, you can't answer. Is it reasonable that flat earthers don't
the
blindly
world.
trust NASA that brought Nazis over
Chemo is
here?
going to save the world.
I would say it's reasonable. I don't know what Merle's doing
Thank
right
you.
now.
So I don't blindly believe a group that works with Nazis. And
I've heard all this shit.
There's no one better.
I've heard all this shit before.
Have you?
Yeah, I've heard all this shit before.
Werner Van Braun, SS officer.
All I'm saying, WITSIT's the
Flat
best
Earth
person
when did
out of all the
Merle
flat earthers out there, right? WITSIT's the only one who's
Oh
just
yeah,
giving information.
Brummy knows.
But Merle, are you mad even though you agree? What's the problem?
What do I agree with?
I'm just saying
Flat Earth's going nowhere.
Shut up, man, Mel. Start having a go at WITSIT. At the end of the day, right? He's the best one out of the lot of you.
Nah,
He's the only
he
one
ain't
that
got
makes
shit.
coherent sense.
None of you have got shit.
He's not aggressive. Hold on, he's not aggressive. He's not weird. He's not fucking.
He's not
like,
weird.
He doesn't live it. He's not. No,
He's not weird.
You're a bit weird. Yeah,
say you don't agree to his shit.
I'm not weird.
You are a bit.
What don't you agree with?
Let's
No, I'm not.
agree with him.
You are.
Why am I weird?
Because you're a little bit weird.
I'm not weird.
Okay.
But wait, guys, all I'm saying is, look, all I'm saying is, you have to at least be honest, right? Like, you can think I'm wrong about the Earth. That's cool.
Look
man.
at
Agree,
yourself.
disagree.
But
what I'm saying is,
what's wrong with that?
if you're honest, it is a super weird story that we went to the moon in '69. We just can't go back.
He's an evangelist.
And Nazis brought us there.
Yeah, it is.
He does
weird story
now and then, but he's not in here all the time. Like most people are in here. They're more in here. When he does come in, it's a bit of a pleasure to hear what he's going to say and what he's going through. It's a lot of his life online. A lot of people can communicate to what he's doing. He's also very outspoken and very well put together in the way he articulates it. So it is a pleasure.
So what's Earth?
No, yeah, the Earth is
Silence.
just a geocentric stationary
Silence.
plane. And, no, I don't care. Listen, the thing is, Brummy knows that
we saw
I'm
he
not
was
gonna
wrong.
attack him for not agreeing
You're
with me,
dumb.
right? Because he's at least kind of
We
honest.
don't know where we
Merle, you're
are.
dumb.
We
WITSIT,
don't
you're
know
honest.
what to do about it.
There was no
Completely
silence. He
independent.
answered you with a short pause. Shut the
Hey,
fuck up.
Don.
The most
Don.
authentic out of the lot.
Shut the fuck up.
We
Don,
can hear that
fuck off.
you're pretty
He doesn't
mad.
want to be a flat earther. He doesn't even
I
want
have
to
a
be a flat
question.
earther. He
I have
doesn't
a
even
question
want to
for
be a
Merle
flat earther.
because I hear his disdain
big
for
fuck.
this situation right now.
It's
I was just
bullshit.
wondering for.
It's a lost
Merle.
cause. I'm the most
he's not
honest
so
person
negative
in
and
the
so.
planet Earth.
All right, you might be the most honest here, right? But is that much of a pain for you to just sit down and listen to someone else talk? Is it that what it's
No,
more
because it's
about
going nowhere.
who's getting the conversation rather than
What do you mean
The
in the
real
flat Earth? So
the
you're
real
useless, right, Merle?
conversation.
You said flat Earth
No,
is useless. You're the flat Earth. You're fucking useless. Why are we talking
I'm
to
not
this?
flat Earth.
You're
I'm not
fucking.
flat
You
Earth.
just said you were in the flat Earth, motherfucker.
Look how mad you
You're
guys
the
get about the
You're the
Earth.
most
Like,
honest
This
person
is
in
the
the flat Earth.
situation. This is
Merle.
the situation.
Merle, can I quote
yo,
you
it's
real
so
quick?
weird. Y'all
I'm the
get so
most
triggered
honest
about the
person
Earth, bro.
Listen,
Like,
planet.
it's
This
so
is the
weird.
situation.
That's why it must be true. You know what I mean? That's another signal.
mind.
Like that's just telling. That's your gut feeling. All these.
I
people
don't
that
get why
triggered
Merle
over
was starting to fight
Well,
with WITSIT, Merle. Why are you starting to fight?
Because humans have no origin.
Why? We didn't start
And
yet.
that's the real issue.
Yeah, the creator made you. You have a spirit.
You
Okay,
don't know
so
what the creator is. You don't know
hey man,
fucking
if
shit, mate.
okay, look, you can disagree
Just
on
get
my
real.
expression of the creator, but
What do
you have
you
a
know
spirit.
about the creator?
That the necessary antecedent to creation is a
What
creator,
do
and that
you
even with
know about the creator?
No.
okay, wait
No,
up,
shut up, guys.
even within your fairy
What do
tale
you know
story, there
about
has
it?
to be a creator.
No,
You
what do you know
psychos.
about this cunt in the sky?
Oh, what do you
So-
mean, cunt, man? What's wrong
Woo!
with you? What is
Come
wrong
on.
with
That's
you?
what I was getting at.
Calm down,
I've
man.
noticed that
No,
something's
What do you know
bothering
about the cunt
Merle.
under the ground? Take your
what's wrong with
pick,
you?
up
What you
or
wanna say?
down.
Oh.
What do you know about it?
dude, why
Dude,
are
Merle,
you
do you think
so
your
Stop being
fingers
fucking
weird.
matter?
weird?
I've
Stop
read
being
the
weird.
Bible.
Can you
I've read
show
the
us,
Bible.
Merle?
You're
Can you
now
show us on the
demonstrating your
dolly
weirdness.
where
You know
the
what I'm saying,
flat
Mel?
Earth
You're just
No,
weird.
get
you?
fucked.
Well,
So you
Mel,
don't know
you're
shit.
weird. No, Mel, you're weird. That's
don't know
now
shit
demonstrating.
about
You're
nothing.
demonstrating weirdness right now. You're
Because you don't
demonstrating
know
it.
what God is.
You're demonstrating. No, you're just demonstrating weirdness.
You don't know
Calm
what
down.
the creator is.
Why
You don't know where you
why
are. You
demonstrating
don't know where
weirdness?
you come from. You
Why
Do
don't
you
know
know
where
what
you're
the creator
going.
is? Do you know what the creator is?
No.
Okay, so then why is it that you're running around saying you don't know to other people when you admit that you don't know? Now, in your own fairy tale story, there
Because
still has
I
to be a
don't know. I know
creator.
you
Let
don't
me
know.
give you an example. You claim that the sun is 400 times bigger than the moon, but just
No.
perfectly, exactly 400 times further away also, so that the sun and the moon look like they're the same size so we can have perfect eclipses. If you are ignorant enough to claim that that randomly happened, then you are a liar.
And
That
isn't
can't
a
help
necessary building block of life? If so, yeah, it's just we're so lucky over and over
That can't help me.
over and
There was a
Having an
creator had to
ATM
make it,
card and
bro.
knowing my
Even
PIN
your
number,
model
that's
needs a
what
creator
helps
more
me.
than the flat Earth almost.
I just say this to you, Mel. Like when Globers hear me and I try to explain to them this is possible, they can't see a way it's possible. You can't see a way that these people may have a connection or an understanding of something outside of it. And because you can't see it, you think it's fair to say, well, I can't, so you can't, so it's fair for both of us. No, not really, because I can see things that other people can't see. I can understand things that other people can't understand. So not everything we both see, we'll both understand. That's what I've got to say.
Like, check
There's
this, dude.
not
I know the
one-
creator's real. I'll tell you a
there's
story from
not-
yesterday to give you an example. So I dropped my wallet when I was doing a stream, right? And then I got a phone call and it said someone found your wallet. And so they put it in a customer service. So I went and grabbed it, and it had the a couple $100 bills that were in it missing, right? And I'm like, wow, this guy turned my wallet in, but stole the money. Immediately, I got a $200 donation, like literally right after I got my wallet back. Stuff like this happens to me all the time. It's because the creator's real. He has my back, bro. And I'm just trying to show you guys that whether you agree or disagree on what the nature of the earth is, you are not some just empty vessel that came from nothing, bro. Like, you're actually very special, and you're individual, and you have a spirit. So
Well,
Why'd you
listen,
say you
with-
had
with-
$500 missing out of your wallet? You would have got
Listen-
500.
Listen, with all due respect,
375.
get fucked. Because, get fucked, why? Because no one on earth knows what's going on. That's
speak for
fascinating.
yourself, man.
That's fascinating.
Mel, it normal is it? Mel, you're not wired normal, are you? You ain't normal.
But
are you,
it's
Mel?
true, isn't it?
You're
Are
not
you a
normal, are
nihilist?
Mel,
You're a
not normal.
nihilist, bro.
Does
No, what it
anyone
is,
on
what
earth
it is
know
with
what's
Mel.
going
Mel
on?
wants more, I think. Mel is a flat earther. He's been a flat earther for a long time, but I think he's thinking, why is it the same old, repetitive? I think he wants action. I think he's thinking some. That's why you're saying flat earthers are useless because.
Yeah,
Alright,
do you
Kevin
think he's
is here.
projecting
I'm
the
back.
uselessness or what?
Well,
See, some
I
of
was
us
about-
are
I was
actually
about to
going
get
out
to that.
into the
I was about
world.
to get to that and
So-
say, well, Mel, I mean, look where we are now. I mean, everyone knows about the flat Earth. It's a common everyday thing, really. You can talk to anyone about
I
it.
don't know anything about the flat Earth. What's this flat Earth you keep
Mel,
talking
what
about?
more needs to be done? What you're saying? Do more. What more needs to be done?
We need to pull up Google
not
Earth
do more.
and we need to
Not
talk
do
about the
more.
pieces. Oh, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. No.
Not do more. What was meant to happen was we were all meant to realize where we were. That was the start. We still don't know. Then we were meant to know why we were put here, who put us here, what the fuck is it all about, where are we going, what happens when you die.
I
What's
can
the
answer all
point
these
to
questions.
life?
Your expectations
No
are
one
too
Are
high.
we
knows.
human?
Fucking
Or
joke.
are we
No
cancer?
singing.
Satisfied, oh, my hands are cold.
Okay, we live on a
Earth.
geocentric stationary plane Earth with a firmament. The
failed
creator
experiment.
made you. You're a son. It's not an experiment. And if it's an experiment, that means it was created. You seem lost here. You just said there was no creator. But
I'm
for it
not
to be an
lost.
experiment, it was created. You are literally lost, my friend. You
I'm
need to
not
get
lost.
right with the Father. He made you. You have a spirit. The reason that
The
we're here is because
Father.
He made us so that we could have a beautiful life, but we fell away. And so now we have to get back to eternal life, or we will be eternally separated. And this is just a basic fact of the life that you can't accept because it comes with moral accountability, right? It makes you feel like, oh, snap, maybe I will be held accountable for the things that I do. But I just want you to know that you have a spirit, bro, and you're very special, and everyone's an individual, and you're made in the image of the Creator. Science can't explain intuition or memories or astral projection or anything like that. There is a metaphysical reality to this world. Scientifically speaking, this is just undeniable. And so you need to address that honestly, right? What's beyond the material
just
world,
supply and
and how
demand,
did the
man.
Earth get here? It was created. You were created.
That's all he does, Farmer.
Why?
I feel like it was the
Why
supply
were
and
you
demand.
created? Because the Creator loves you, man, and he just made you out of love. And then since He loves you so much, He lets you be free, right? Because to actually make a beautiful piece of creation, being humans, you had there's like a reverberation to everything. So the reciprocation of making you as beautiful as He did was that you are free. And what comes with free will is that you can do whatever you want to do, like sit here and bash him and bash his soldiers and lie and cuss and be a
Or she,
degenerate
not
You're full
him.
of shit, WITSIT.
Yeah, he or she, not him.
You're full of
Well,
shit.
yeah, you're
WITSIT.
like the Creator actually alludes like
Oh,
like
fuck off.
anatomy, male and female anatomy.
Why
Take
don't
your religious bullshit
why
elsewhere, WITSIT.
why don't all the
Why is
humans get
WITSIT full of
together?
shit?
Why don't all the humans get together then? All the humans on the Earth and get in the nude and just fuck each other.
Wow, dude.
What the hell did that come from?
Go for
What
it,
a
Merle.
psycho. You're a degenerate, man.
Mel, what the f you been drinking, man?
I'm a fucking heathen. I'm a
Yeah,
pagan.
but
and
it's
I'm a
okay.
Mel
bracer.
doesn't need to drink.
I
He's
give a
sober.
fuck.
Mel,
I
so
give a
let's
fuck about
look
the
at
religious
this.
God.
Mel, let's look at your
Suck it.
question. Mel, let's look at
They
your
called him a
question.
degenerate. A degenerate
Hold
is
on,
one of the best
Bummy.
things you can say.
Let's
to
unpack
somebody.
that.
Romy, hold on a sec. So, well, let's look at your question. So, you know, people have feelings. They can be embarrassed. So, if someone's like a man is walking around and he's a woman and he's going to show, you know, these
But he wants
things
to
that are meant to be
fuck her.
covered up.
Why is he embarrassed?
Well, these things are meant to be covered up, right? They're meant to be behind closed
Why?
doors.
Why?
Like, who made them to be? I don't have a problem. If it wasn't freaking other people out, it wouldn't freak me out.
I think that you're lying and actually self-projecting your insecurity of your anatomy.
Shut up, WITSIT.
I'm just saying, bro. Anyone that has to say that is just trying to put on a show.
So I
No,
get
it's
that
not-
WITSIT
nah,
said- I get that he
they're
said he
just
knows
past
it.
that age where that kind of shit just isn't.
So, Merle, again, I'm talking about,
Said he
like,
hold on,
You know I'm here. You know I'm here, Grim.
Yeah, you,
'Cause
my
I'm
man.
I'm
Why are you saying
45
WITSIT's
and I
full of
like the
shit?
way I look. I'm like bragging.
Well,
Yeah, I'm 60 this year, Grim.
I appreciate you,
Hey, happy
Kimo.
birthday.
I don't
you
think
do.
Made it.
WITSIT, I think even though you said like you know, I think we all know that it's like kind of your opinion, and I think it's a cool guess about the situation that of free will and stuff like that. WITSIT, I think it's cool. I don't know why the dude says you're full of shit.
Yeah, it's
Or
bullshit.
yeah, I feel you. I can definitely understand that when I say I know that it comes off like arrogant or whatever, and so sure, like, you know, my take, whatever. But the way I interpret it is because of the constant reaffirmation in my life. You know, that would make me say that I know, but I can extend my knowing, right? Like that's an anecdotal thing. So sure, I mean, you know, the way that I see it.
How did free will
It
work
seems
for
more like
you?
a projection
how
of
did
your
free will?
insecurities to me, though. If you think about
How did
it.
free will work out for you in jail? How did that go?
Perfectly fine. I got to witness to tons of people.
Right, and you were just walking around doing whatever you want in jail.
Well, no, I was
While
in
he
jail.
was bent
So.
over, he had a nice chat with him.
Wow. Yeah. Right.
Well, what are you getting at?
Yeah,
What's happened?
think
What's
about
wrong?
how, like,
what's,
the airport
what's,
people you have to
what's
be-
the problem,
No.
Mel? What's happened? Something must have happened.
I did.
Are you not pleased with what WITSIT's
After
doing?
40
You don't
something
think,
days, I was like,
going around
Well,
flat smacking.
Listen, it's not personal. This is just my honest take on it. Earth's a joke. It's backwards. this species is long gone. They're lost. They're going nowhere. And we need some help.
No,
I actually agree with
know
most
that
of that. I actually agree with most of that. That this world is sunken into depravity and degeneracy. We've chosen our flesh over our spirit. Eventually, it will come to an end, and that's why it's getting so crazy around us over the last year. It's expedited, and some people will choose eternal life, and some people will choose to cease to exist.
We
And
are
so, yeah, it's
Stardust,
that time.
WITSIT.
Stardust, you're star. You need more blind faith to claim you know you're Stardust than for me to say I know there's a creator.
Organised
That's
Stardust,
true.
WITSIT. That's all we are.
Okay,
Isn't
so
there
you
evidence for
you
one
know
and
what
not
we
for the
are.
other?
He's full
But
of
you think-
shit. He's full of shit.
He would be right if he subtracted the word star. We are organized dust. Ashes to ashes. to
Yep,
dust.
we
I think
came.
in the
Yep,
Bible
we
it
came
says
from dust.
we are but dust.
See,
Wow.
the
Dust
last
to
thing I'll say,
dust.
Kimo,
We are but
Kimo,
dust.
I think life is valuable, and I think it is significant and important, and that's why I get annoyed about the situation, because I think we all have much more potential and capacity than we're even allowed to even know, beyond getting a job, getting married, getting the whole thing. To me is just, it's done, it's over. But nobody seems to want to just put the brakes on it and say, look, fuck this, I'm not going to do this
isn't
anymore.
working.
What's
Hey,
Exactly.
my
It's not
friend,
going anywhere.
the creator
Not
loves
getting
you.
what you
Alternative
want
Okay,
out of this.
suggesting.
like I understand you're frustrated with the world, and I get it.
Yeah,
It sucks.
yeah,
They
yeah,
set us up to
definitely is.
basically be robots. We have a 9 to 5. We come home, watch our
That's what I was
Netflix,
getting
eat,
at.
go to sleep, go back. That's stupid. It was set up to make you not enjoy life or be nihilistic. Okay, but life is beautiful. The earth is beautiful. You can travel. You can have a wife that you love, that you make babies with. You don't need a certificate for that. There are beautiful parts of life.
It just
And I just
sounds
want you
like
to know the
Merle
creator
feels
loves you.
betrayed. Sounds like Merle feels
I
a
just
little
think
bit
we all
betrayed
deserve
about
better,
it, you know?
guys. Like, it's what it
Yeah.
really is. I think you're all
No, because I'm sat here listening, right,
Be
waiting for
on
my
it,
turn to
guys.
talk, and like I'm
Oh,
listening, and
alright,
I was going to say exactly what Widget said. This isn't a problem with that just because you can't see this world with a creator doesn't mean that other people can't see it. Now, look, Widget can see the beauty in the world that you cannot see. That's exactly the difference between.
Shut up.
That's
can
what
see
I'm
the fucking
saying. Shut up,
beauty,
like to be
you
negative now.
fool.
I'm trying to reach out to
Yeah,
you, to a person.
you're
Hey,
not
it's
understanding,
it's
Brummy,
not
what he's going through right now.
He's
He
yeah,
sees
well,
that too, right? And he also sees that there's a more potential in the people
That's
that are
beautiful,
surrounding
Brummy.
him, and it's
People are
annoying
great.
him that they're not
Oh,
maximizing.
We have to
their
be
potential.
friends. We have to listen to
Of
each
Am I right,
course,
Merle?
we do.
No.
Yes,
Thank you.
yes.
Okay.
Listen, we're all different. We're all individuals. We all have a lot to offer.
So I'm really interested to listen to all of you.
And I'm just
I really
being
hope
an arsehole, really.
I really hope you understand if I am talking, because I'm not talking the best language in the board.
I am a bit frustrated with the situation. That's it.
Johnny, you're on the scotch again.
Like I say,
I just want
like
before.
I say, I can understand Mel. Mel wants more, and like constantly attacking the ball earthers here, telling them it's done, it's over, and he wants the next step. But Mel, it's going to take more than that. You know, we're going to need huge numbers to get together, organised. You know, it's going to have to be like a takeover of some. So, you know, we're a long way off. That is what you're saying.
The only issue I have with you, bro, is I think you're being honest, right? And I actually respect that. I'm genuinely concerned for people in your position because you're addressing something that's very real, right? Like this void. You don't understand the purpose, and we lack answers. We've been lied to about where we live and the nature of where we live and where we came from, and we're stardust and monkeys and all this nonsense. But when they come out, and we'll just use an unidentified pronoun, okay? When a group of people come out and they give you a bunch of these answers, bro, I just don't want people to be deceived into following them, right? Because they've emptied us out, or at least attempted to, so they can fill us up with metaphysical truth. And it's going to happen. They're going to come out and tell you where you live. They're going to tell you what happened.
Man, WITSIT, instead of spouting bullshit on the internet.
What?
Well,
Listening to Merle, it sounds like he's nihilistic because he feels like it's hopeless because we're losing. Frankly, we're losing. The truth is losing, right? And you know, the deception is predominant and stuff like that. And I feel for him, man, because I, you know, on some level have the same feelings as well.
It can feel that way.
It's a losing battle, and and
Yeah, I feel you. I agree. And this is my honest
future
take is that is
kind of-
it is we dude, like it isn't gonna get just a ton better. And some people might need to look at this reality a little bit more honestly. Right? Like this is the great divide. Some people don't have ears to hear, and some people like reach who you can reach, but don't let everyone else affect your path, bro. Right? Because if we did that, we'd still have slaves. Majority of people thought slaves were cool back in the. Who cares what everyone else does? There's a select group of people that are going to be real about this and humble themselves and want to get to the truth. Be that group, bro. Be that group. That
Always the
it
select
might
group,
also
WITSIT.
it might
Always the
also
select
I
group.
agree with what you just said there with it, but it might also be helpful, Merle, to think of it as a really, really long game that's more than one generation, so that you don't have to judge yourself at this time for winning or losing. Just know that you'll continue it on. You know what I mean? Like I don't know how to explain that, but just don't.
Well,
try
when
to,
Yeshua
just
comes
because
back,
it's not
everyone
going to
will
happen
know.
in your lifetime. Yeah, that don't be like discouraged or whatever from your dream of making this happen.
You know what it
Whatever
says? It
might
says that
be.
a lot of people will say, "Well, surely
they're
we
playing the long
inherited
game.
lies. Surely we inherited lies from our father." Right? And so the realization of the truth will hit everyone at the same time. And I just want people to come to the truth before that happens. I genuinely, out of love, I do what I do. And so when you guys attack me stuff, I don't really care. I know my intention is actually pure. I'm trying to help people out. And so I want you guys
Does
to know
that
the
say
truth.
that in the Bible? Surely something lies from our father.
Yeah. When Yeshua comes back, right? People will say, "Surely we
what father were
inherited
they
lies."
talking about at that time?
Their
Lord?
fathers. Surely we inherited lies from our fathers, like our literal earthly fathers.
Bring me evidence of your
but
God, and I'll believe him.
did they
WITSIT.
say? Does that not when they say our fathers? Does that mean also fathers plural? Because it sounds like a way of the Bible saying that even the Lord is lying to you.
No, that's not what it's saying. What it's saying that the group of people that
Why couldn't
realize,
it be
wow,
interpreted?
Yeshua was, because it says they will say, surely we inherited lies from our fathers, as in generational lies have been passed down. Like we were all told we live on a ball. We were all told
And
that
truths
America
have
is
been
awesome.
passed down through WITSIT, not only lies and truths.
Yeah, of course, some truths, but the point is that they were
Okay.
deceived and they passed on that deception, man.
I feel like
We're
you just
upsetting the
deceived
natives,
me
guys.
because I
Sorry.
wasn't familiar with that verse and had no idea that they
I
also said
apologize.
truths.
I'm sorry, guys. We're upsetting the natives. They're
I feel
very
like you, though, but I
atheistic,
feel like
aren't
you
they?
just
And but
deceived
the
me.
word of God is absolutely tearing their souls apart, which is why they can't bear to hear. But can they bring it back to the shape of the earth? That does help, and bring them closer to the Creator. That's one way. I always think.
Like God.
Yeah, like for example, rockets cannot fly in a region that has no atmosphere in.
Sure.
That's it, Chemo. Take us down the path to flat Earth. Good on you, mate.
Well, how do you?
Because people are scared to hear the gospel. And that's what you guys need more than anything.
It was kind of
They do
interesting
need
learning
it.
why Merle was frustrated this morning, though, or wherever you guys are this afternoon too. And even
I'll stop preaching. I just want you guys to know that the Creator actually loves you, man. And I just want you guys to realize that you're special, and they're trying to make you like a statistic, and you're not important. But dude, you have a spirit, bro, and they can only break that if you give it over to them. So just reconsider your importance. Don't let them convince you that you're nothingness, because you're not, and you remain the Creator's image, and He loves you, and He wants you to come to Him, but He will not force you to do it. You have to accept it. You have free will. All right, I'll stop.
Yeah, you're projecting.
Well,
WITSIT.
the thing is, it's not even
I've
a
accepted
problem.
it, so.
The problem is that they already have a religion, you
100,000.
see, and they're thinking, well, hold on, you have a religion, we have a religion, why should we give up our religion of the heliocentric model? That's what they're thinking. I'm sure that's what they're what's going through their minds. And what's his
yeah, they're not thinking about the economy or
Doofus.
COVID problem or anything.
Is your mic working,
right?
Doofus?
It's just what you're thinking that they're thinking.
Nearly forgot your name,
Well,
Doofus.
don't call WITSIT names, man. He's not here for very long.
Who
Well,
just names?
Kosher,
dude.
We want an explanation of how rockets work in space. Example.
You just told me they don't.
Yeah, but there were some ballers think they do.
They'd have to be able to get there to where outer space actually existed to work. So you have to have a radius value to do that. And you also have to be able to defy the second law to do that.
Are you talking such rubbish again, WITSIT? My God, don't you ever start with this?
Wait, are you
Earth
saying you
bullshit.
don't need the radius of the Earth to go to space?
Just need the theoretical one, and you can test it.
According to your model, you would have to have the radius of the Earth. You need a radius of
Just need the
orbit.
theoretical one.
Why would you need the radius to go to space?
Because you need a radius of orbit so you can attain escape velocity.
Well, you don't need to go into orbit to reach escape velocity.
Okay, actually, according to your religious leaders that claim they go to space, they go into an orbit and then they escape the atmosphere, and you need a radius of
Right.
orbit.
This is where rocket scientists need to pipe in and say how stupid it would be to ever escape.
We're waiting for actually. We are waiting for rocket scientists.
Nah, Kosho. Because when I say what you said, rocket scientists always wants to tell us how fucking stupid it is to not climb up orbit and that you don't leave straight up out of Earth. No, you just made a claim that I'm going to challenge.
For goodness
You don't
sake,
leave straight up out of Earth. You got to go to
Kosho,
orbit
stop doing
first.
that.
You were wrong,
Talking to
Kosho.
WITSIT, Don.
Well, you were wrong.
Close
thank
your
you.
mouth, sir. I'm not wrong. You can leave the Earth without using the radius. You can leave the Earth without going to orbit.
Prove it.
Don,
You need the
don't
radius
speak while
for the
I'm speaking,
orbit.
Don. I'm not going to spend my time talking over you, sir. Please stop doing it to me. All right. You don't need to go into orbit to go into space. You don't need to. You don't need to know the radius to go into space. We used the radius to go to space because we get into orbit when we get to space because it's efficient.
Well, I've got
However,
an expert
escape
here, Kosho.
velocity is not dependent
You're
on
not
the
a rocket
orbit. You can
scientist.
reach escape velocity. You can reach escape velocity without ever going into orbit. And if you reach
you
escape
can't.
velocity
You've never
without
been
going to
done.
orbit, you're going to
It's
leave
never
the
been
planet.
done.
Fuck you, Don.
All right.
Actually,
Your-
it has
your
been
religion
done, sir.
says
It
it.
actually
Oh,
has
who
been
did it?
done. There are
Never been done.
there are launches that
Can you not
go
hear rocket
straight up.
scientists,
There's
Kosho?
plenty of them. How could I
Yes.
hear anyone when I'm speaking, dude?
Alright, he's just fixing his mic. He's like a real rocket scientist. Don't often speak to those.
You know what, Kosho, if I was you,
Who's
I
ever
would-
pretending they've escaped, you can be an idiot to yourself. Be a
Kosho.
pretender clown idiot. There's
Kosho,
no
if I-
fucking proof of escape ever.
Kosho, if I was a mud, I'd probably mute people as well. But I think that you're saying there is people going up in rockets straight up and out. You saying it can be done and it has been done. So could you just instead of just screaming and shouting about it, could you just provide that them because people are saying that's never
Haven't
been
you
done.
seen the
so-
seen evidence we have?
Well,
No,
I've
I've
never
never
seen a
seen
rocket
it.
go straight up
Prove
either.
those claims.
What I know is that they always, even when they went to the moon, apparently they went into orbit, low Earth orbit first, and then they got the momentum, and then they flung themselves off to the moon. They didn't just fly out straight to the moon. So even they went into orbit when they went up. So to say that you need an orbit to go straight up is just a bit bizarre to me. And
Long
Kosho
and
was-
short of it is we had a theoretical. The thing I don't get is
hold on.
WITSIT.
One last thing.
The
Kosho was
claim
like
is
anything.
that we have been to space, we've gone to orbit. Now, why? And we had a theoretical radius. And since we got to orbit and that theoretical radius turned out to be right, it took us another proof of the globe.
Fuck.
Wow. Okay, so you need to reify and blindly believe the story that they went there, and my point is that you couldn't adequately do so without a radius of orbit being accurate.
No, you tested it.
We have evidence. We don't have to.
Listen, everyone in this fucking room knows we're not orbiting the sun. Everyone
Yeah.
knows we're not on a fucking planet anymore.
Merle, don't
You
speak
can't-
for everybody. You can't.
You
rocket
cunts want to
scientists,
fucking
excellent.
push that propaganda.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Merle, thank you.
It's
It's
bullshit though. It's boring.
You're
It's
boring.
weak too.
I actually agree
That's
with this
obvious.
guy.
Kimo, I don't respond when you call me, so fuck off.
I mean, rocket scientist, you're smart. You've just had a kid.
You're not.
Think of your fucking little dude, man. Break the cycle.
You're not smart.
They will say, surely we inherited.
Merle,
life
haven't you
from
been
the father."
banned how many times now? You keep coming back.
Just deal with fucking reality for once.
Just deal with the fact that you're upset about your life, which is why you've been bitching for the last hour about the world is so bad and we deserve more than what we have. It's because you haven't worked for it and you haven't earned it.
Calm down, God.
And so therefore
leave him
you don't
alone,
deserve
Rocket.
it.
Rocket, leave him alone. Don't bully him, man. Don't bully him like that, man.
Hey, Rocket,
Fucking
do you-
Merle, you're
Rocket,
talking
do
to
you
an
agree
asshole
we need
again.
the radius?
Well,
Rummy,
Mel's in
it's
a
all
sensitive
right.
place right
Rummy,
now.
it's
We don't
fine.
need- you don't
Let-
need to push him over the
let-
edge.
Let WITSIT get at the rocket scientist.
Well, the Earth is flat. That should be easy, right? Just off the edge.
Wow.
So even if you could get even if you could get a rocket into a vacuum, how would you steer that
Ladies and
rocket?
gentlemen, we now start the Muppet Show featuring Brian Muppet.
A release of mass at high velocity.
I've dropped
How
like
would you
8
steer it?
stations in here already. So.
Release of mass at high velocity.
Thrust vector control, Brian.
Translation: release of mass at great velocity.
You get a steering wheel, Muppet.
Mel, it does seem
How
like
would
you're
you
upset.
stop it? How
Mel,
would you reverse the
with
momentum? How
Mel.
could you stop it?
Fuck off, Brummy.
It is
Mel,
complete and utter
listen here, right?
nonsense.
You sound upset, right? But look, at the end of the day, it's the inward thing. I went my whole life thinking, how the fuck can people believe that the world was created by something? And then when I realized that, how can I believe that it happened without any intent and it just happened randomly? I think that's more magic to me. That takes more belief than it does to believe that when something must have done it, because that's an
Not
answer
really
for
what
something
we're
that
talking
makes
about,
sense.
Absolutely, it does.
Well, that's what WITSIT kind of was talking about. Him, he was saying that, well, if it is created, well, why is it so? Why this guy in the sky who created this? That's what the conversation was earlier when you weren't here, Russ. So please
Oh,
mind
no
your
worries.
business, please.
No, cool.
I want to say sorry again. Say it again. I want to hear it again, louder,
Right.
please.
No.
Oh God! Oh, God! Oh, it tastes so good. Oh,
My God is
appreciate
actually
it.
stronger than Witsit's God.
I appreciate the honesty,
universe.
Russ, man. I appreciate.
Well, at least you admit that the universe as is defined by the people you believe couldn't exist without it being created.
I don't admit that. I say it's a possibility.
How though? Because like it's just repetitive coincidence, which is an oxymoron. Like the sun being 400 times further away from the moon, but coincidentally exactly 400 times bigger, so that they look like they're exact same size. But that has nothing to do with sustainable climate for life, right? It's just a coincidence. It's just a convenient coincidence that optically works out, right?
Okay.
That means the moon was placed at the perfect distance away from the sun relative to its size to have perfect eclipses.
Does anyone want to WITSIT
the same size though?
Does
WITSIT,
anyone
can you
want to WITSIT that the moon's moving further away from the Earth?
Yeah, an inch and a half every year.
How would you verify that? But listen, Brummy, and then I'll shush.
Yeah.
Let me just get it out, because I'm going to come across like a doomer and a nihilist.
Okay.
Right? So you create free energy, a free energy machine. No one needs to have money anymore. Everyone can be rich and live the life of their dreams. You know what's going to happen? They're going to come find you, and you're going to vanish. You're going to disappear quick. That's
Actually,
the
no,
world we live. Let me just get it out, and then I'll shut up. That's the world we live in. It's a cunt of a place. It's evil.
You're correct, but at least you would be the legend that did
on
it.
its own. I'd just like to respond very quickly to Mel's point. To achieve that on its own would be a violation of the first law of thermodynamics.
Okay, you're going to go down saying that, and you're going to find out very soon when they roll it out that you were wrong. Okay, so have you ever heard of mercury, the most energy efficient compound that exists, right? Dimersol is inside of your little inoculations, right? It's the most energy efficient. We put it in light bulbs. Mercury's been told, oh, it's so dangerous, don't touch it. Gold has magnetic permeability that could experience zero loss.
Hey, Drew.
That's what I just said. I just said that.
Chlorine.
True,
I just said it's an organic compound of mercury.
It is.
Yeah, but it's a compound like chlorine is poisonous to us. But if I don't have some salt in my diet, I will die.
Look, Mo. In the day, I think sometimes
Demersol's
people,
poisonous.
if people did know the truth, or people was given the full power of pure freedom, they would make more destruction than they currently do anyway.
yeah.
It could be less. It could be the lesser two evils. Now, think the government could be this. Ancient people that do live longer than us, but maybe they've already lived a life where they tried to make it all peaceful and things didn't work out. Who knows what they've been through, or knows what's going on.
Okay, so
But
look,
in the
this is
day,
turning into
if powers have been taken away from
this is turning into a circle twerk
powers have been taken away from
the
people.
flat
I
earthers,
need to
Brummy.
finish my
So
comment, please.
we need
Kimo, I know
what-
you don't like the conversation, but
yeah,
let me
but what
finish
is
my
happening is that we're excluding the globers because we're amongst ourselves saying, "Wow, this is it.
Aren't you now?
End of the subject.
think
It's
one
all
minute,
over. We can
Kimo,
start
so
looking
I'm
forward."
happy to
I
go
know
to
Mo
session.
wants to look forward, but there are a lot of people here who still believe in the heliocentric model. Still believe there is curvature to the Earth. They still believe the Earth is spinning, and they still believe.
Not to mention, Chemo, that there's the and more part of the discussion.
Let me put the full stop on it, and then I'll
when you
zip it.
decided to do all
you
of
zip it
that.
like you just said you were gonna.
No, listen, I'll zip it. There's a correlation. Rocket scientist.
Is my
has got
microphone
an-
working here? Like, what the fuck?
I'll
is
shut
going
up
on?
after this, Grim, I promise. Rocket scientist has a little kid. So does Brummy. Those kids deserve better.
I agree.
Merle, fuck off.
Fuck you.
They deserve better, Dad.
You know, they deserve better.
Merle.
They deserve
You're a
better
shit
than to be
dad.
You
lied
sit at
to.
home living off your mother, and you come on here like a
blew it
little
up.
whiny
Thanks,
bitch,
Merle.
and you want to think that you can talk about my kids like that? Fuck you, Merle.
NASA.gov saying you have to have the
Some
radius of
loser who
orbit.
comes on, who has no life,
he had to
no
blow up the room.
aspirations,
He just triggered you
no
on purpose.
success,
There's
and you
nothing to
cry,
that
and you're coming in and
except to
crying
stop
on
the
here
conversation.
like
Mel,
this.
I mean,
Don't
Mel,
worry
yeah.
about it.
So, Mel, look, this is
Nobody
why.
cares.
Hold
what
on,
he
hold
said.
on. My response is, Mel, just mate.
Never mind. I'm out.
It was that your best shot, was it? To try and be like take a low
No,
blow.
Brummy, this is the point, you see. This is what I'm saying to Mel.
There was
If
no
Mel
low
wants us to
blow
move
there.
forward, Mel, you're going to have to convince these guys they're not on the board. By shouting and demanding that they just believe it's not going to happen. Okay? So you've got to
Listen, this new generation is being led astray.
they don't think
by
so.
That's
by
it. You made the
fuckwits
point. He
in
said
the
he didn't
ivory
even want to talk about it,
towers.
Chemo. He said just want to make that point.
Hey,
He was
I
done.
think.
What's
Hey,
the- what's
I
up?
think
I thought
Grim
you were
wanted.
done.
Grim was trying to get in and say something. Grim was trying
Yeah.
to say something.
Yeah.
Yeah, he eventually left, though.
Yeah, he flounced off because he was in a.
Guys, here's NASA.gov saying you need a radius of orbit, so that's
Each
your religious
generation
leaders.
finds its own path eventually. Well,
Religious leaders.
I mean, rocket scientist knows that you need the orbit, so I don't think he's arguing with that point. So
I was calling.
Okay.
Listen,
I
Witsit,
said was
I was
you need-
calling
what-
his.
what-
I was calling his globers.
That's great, man.
Religious the other day.
We're talking
and
about the
he said,
orbit
"How's it
again,
religion?"
dude.
'Cause
You
religion
might need
invokes a
some
god.
That's
atmosphere
fine,
to
man.
steer the fucking thing
Yeah, what I
around
said
that
to you was,
orbit.
what I said to you is when we go to space, we go into orbit. To get into orbit successfully, you're gonna need the radius. However, you don't need the orbit or the radius to get into space. You could reach escape velocity without going into orbit and without going without knowing the
Who
radius.
did that? And when was that done?
It's not about who did that. It's about that's what escape velocity is.
So it's never been
So
done?
if you reach escape velocity, if you reach escape velocity and you sustain that, then you don't have to go into orbit to leave.
So it's never been done.
You can just tilt the so you're not going straight up, and you can just leave the planet.
How
Well,
much
escape
money do we need to
velocity-
raise
that's
to
what
do
escape
that one
velocity means.
time? How much money do we need to
Might
raise
need
to
a
do
bit of
that one?
atmosphere to steer the fucking thing with.
But no, this is the problem, right? My actual argument was that they claim they went to space and I don't believe them. And one of the reasons is because the way they claimed they went to space, they had to have a radius of orbit to attain escape velocity. According to their own story, I just now cited
Boom.
over 20 different things that
Witsit wins.
support that.
Witsit.
What's
Witsit.
it still on the high ground?
Escape velocity is about
He's still
velocity is about
but still he's
11.1 kilometers
claiming
per
that we don't
second.
have a rate.
hold on, let the
Orbital
rocket
insertion, depending on
He's
the
on the
altitude,
high
is about
ground right now.
six
Answer him.
to 8 kilometers per second. You don't need to reach escape velocity to reach orbit.
I didn't say that. I said you have to get a radius of orbit to then attain escape velocity according
What
to
the
how
fuck is
they
a radius of
claim.
orbit?
Wow, I thought you were a rocket scientist.
Radius of orbit.
Claiming
Kosho said you don't
How
need
about the
to
conditions
reach
needed
orbit
to
reach
achieve
escape
orbit?
velocity.
Just now cited it
Which
with
is
20
based on the
different
velocity.
cites.
That's a radius.
Yeah, so you need
You
the
just
radius of
need a
the Earth
method
and the
to get
distance
above the
above the
atmosphere to get
surface. You have
into
to add
orbit.
them together to have your radius of orbit. Okay, so you have to have the radius of the Earth to supposedly go to space the way they claim that they did. Objectively, I
Which
just
we
now
have.
cited NASA
Which we
saying
have.
it. Okay, that's what you
We
should have
have the
said
radius
about
of
10
the
minutes
Had
ago.
Astronautics. They never once demonstrated it whatsoever.
So if the radius is
International
wrong,
Space Station percentage, you fucking moron.
let me
Yeah,
ask you an
but-
intellectually
there.
honest question. All right, let's see how intellectually honest these people are. So you agree then that if the radius was wrong, theoretically, then their story about how they went to space would also, by deduction, be false.
Yeah,
How
but
wrong
we're
would it
right.
have to be?
We went, so it doesn't matter.
But can you not answer the question?
How wrong will we have to be?
What's it? You posted the escape velocity calculator for different planets, which have different different configuration, geometry, densities, and radii. So what do you mean by radius was wrong?
Dude, I dropped
If it
20
was different,
sources.
we'd have a different escape velocity.
No, yeah, that's my point, right? Like, if the radius is wrong, the story they
So
told
what is
us
the
about
right
how they
one
went
then?
to
Then we would
space-
know what the right one was.
if we actually went to space. But listen to the actual question. If the radius isn't correct, then by logical deduction, it necessitates that the story they told us about how they went to space couldn't be true if they didn't have an accurate
Great. Prove it to be incorrect. Then
Okay, there you go.
Escape
That's
velocity
where the
would be
conversation should go.
incorrect. That's his point.
Hey,
If you change the
Rocket
radius,
You haven't proven it to be
escape
incorrect.
velocity. They're giving you a
Rocket
specific
propagandist.
escape velocity, and it would be incorrect if the radius was changed.
The only
Hey,
thing I can
rocket
find about a
propagandist.
radius of orbit is for an electron orbiting an atom.
Dude, I
That's
just cited
part of the
20
model.
different things.
No, but look,
sorry,
look.
just in the middle of a sentence. which
Rockets on the high ground.
So I can't quite see where you're getting this term radius of orbit. Is that just something that you're using colloquially, Witzik, or does
Well,
that
maybe
have some
just
definitive
read
meaning?
the NASA.gov thing I
Okay,
just dropped.
let me. If the radius is incorrect by whatever factor it is, after we launch into orbit and we do the orbit determination, we'd be able to know how much we were incorrect by.
Right, if
It's
we could
an easy
hypothetically go
calculation
to a
to do.
medium that,
Yeah,
sure,
I've
if we
seen
could
it.
hypothetically go to a medium that defies physics. But my point is, I don't believe their story.
A medium that
And so
defies physics?
the most
What are you
efficient
talking
way
about?
for us to test their
medium?
story.
It's
Yeah.
outer space, you numpty.
That's still a medium.
What's
Outer space is a medium. What is
Wow.
it's a vacuum?
What's outer space made of, Rocket?
Look, this is getting crazy.
It's a
Mel,
vacuum.
please
It's an absence of matter. Aside from your
Ryan,
tiny
come
little
on,
bit
this
of
is
space
disorder.
Fucking lying cunts.
It's pure disorder here. We've got Rocket on the
They
ropes.
deserve it.
Let us put him down in one piece.
No, WITSIT said if the radius was wrong, and I showed that you could just do an experiment to launch something into space, do the orbit determination, and verify whether your radius value is right or not.
Trial and error.
Exactly.
Right, so what you're saying, but here's what I'm saying. I don't blindly believe their story when they claim they went to space. So when you say,
okay, you're
well,
entitled to not believe it, WITSIT.
Okay, my friend, but it's not a sufficient rebuttal to say. Can you please stop interrupting with little gamma comments? Thank you.
You
So
blindly believe that there's Yahweh.
I guess you can't. No, Yahweh, it actually tracks back to Jupiter. That wasn't his name. It's Yehovah. So the point is that I'm not going to blindly believe that they went to space to prove the radius. I'm challenging that they went to space. So the most efficient way to test if they went to space is to test the radius, because they could not have done what they said they did without an accurate radius value objectively. That's according to their own sources. I dropped 20 of them in a row.
What they guessed right.
Okay, so now we need to get to the next part of the conversation. Is the radius correct?
Well,
Yes. Actually, yes,
so
it is.
yes.
And
Okay,
which radius do you mean by that? Because you know that's not constant. You keep saying this is how accurate we are. We actually know not only the radius, but also the distribution of the mass on the Earth and actually its shape very accurately.
Sure.
Which is why you've heard the
that's what
term
you
is called
claim.
as pear-shaped, because it actually bows out at the towards the south of the equator a bit more. That's why that
Tell us more
phrase is
things
there.
about
where
your
we
You
got
know
this
how elliptical
was-
it is around the. It's not even just it bows out because of J2 at the equator, but the J3 because it's elliptical at the equator. It's not even circular.
Yeah. This is because.
So not only do you know the radii at latitude, we also know what the mass distribution and the shape of the Earth is.
Based on math presupposing the heliocentric model, more so the solar
No,
system, the
do
planetary
you want the
movement, and then
gravitational
you take-
geopotential equations?
What I
And
want
they-
is a
sure.
demonstration of astronautics. Can you do that?
Go
Demonstration
look at the
of
international
astronautics
space. It's the
into
easiest. It's the
space.
easiest example to
Into
give
the
you
vacuum of
for
space.
content. You know what is there. You know that's the simplest thing.
No,
to
you
get.
guys just keep on pointing to like these launches, and you claim that they went up to space.
The
All we
International
see is
Space
that they went
Station
into
is
the air.
there.
We ask for a
Go
demonstration
look
to
at
prove
it. Go
that,
track
and you
it.
point to the same thing again that we're doubting. It
It's the
doesn't make
simplest
sense.
thing. You don't want to
would
talk about
Earth
it because it's the
be
easiest thing to talk about.
I've tracked the ISS
Why
numerous
would
times.
Demonstration.
Why would Earth be pear-shaped?
Yeah, I don't know, because they just can say anything to these people and they'll
It's
believe
an
it.
analogy, you numpty Brian. It's the. I'll have to confirm that. I think there's C22 and S22 terms in the gravitational geopotential model. Okay, that's what this added to in the model for the expanded radii just south of the equator.
I agree, it's just theoretical,
Because there's
though,
more
right?
mass there.
Why would
It's just
Earth
theoretical.
be a bit chubbier in the south than in the north?
Because the Earth is not homogeneous.
Yeah, what
The
actually happened was
distribution
they.
of the
Look,
mass
they
across
measured
the
the
Earth,
Earth, they
both on
started
the surface and internally, is non-homogeneous.
Hey, rocket scientists, you need to be honest about what happened. Okay, what actually happened was they measured the Earth in small increments and then they stitched it together and they tried to map the terrain out on a sphere.
It's not a question of honesty. It's a question of your stupid claims that that's what happened. That's not what
happened. That is what happened. They're trying to explain how the terrain that we have measured on the Earth is actually on a ball.
The terrain
Honest with it, that you
and
just made it up.
and the geopotential model was determined by spacecraft. You can't just measure it. Yeah, I knew Brian was going
And
to
you
snicker up
turn
there.
that spacecraft with nothing to push against.
No, it's not.
Wait, how could you even get to where you have nothing to
it's
push against? It couldn't exist.
It's the mass flow rate times the exhaust velocity. That's what it is, Brian.
Escape velocity requires the radius value.
The pressure value. What is that going to do with
What
it?
does
Actually,
it push against?
No. What's it? What I just stated has nothing to do with the Earth rate. That's just Newtonian mechanics.
But for escape velocity, dude, Newtonian mechanics requires the mass.
Dude, will you just pay attention? I was answering Brian's question of not having rockets in space. You need something to push off. Will you fucking stop jumping around like that?
Okay, sorry that you're getting slaughtered. Go ahead.
For fuck's sakes.
Why does a rocket need fins to have vertical and horizontal stabilization if there's nothing
To
for the
provide
fins
aerodynamic
to work?
stability while it's in the atmosphere. Yes.
Chemo. Why does rocket scientists never provide anything practical besides?
He's one of the leaders for the globe. One of the leaders for the globe Earthers. He's the most expert.
I mean, to be honest, WITSIT never provides anything practical either.
Brian, the second stage. of rocket
Provided 20
science
different sources from your own religion.
Yeah, 20 sources.
I
think Rocket would say
practical for you based on geometry. If you have a radius value, that means there's a tangent point consistent with that radius value relative to how high above the surface of the
Just get
sphere
over your
you are.
butt hurt, okay? We know the radius.
Dude,
we
stop
tested it.
self-projecting.
We verified it. We know how to use it in equations for
You are
mechanics.
deathly frightened of
10,000
the
other
fact the Earth
calculations.
might not be a ball. Do not put that onto me. I'm not scared of anything.
Yeah, you
Okay,
are.
so don't try to
You're
self-project.
scared of it because you're scared. By the way, when are you doing your math seminar? You're supposed to do that this week, I believe.
Rocket
We talked
science,
about this, right?
How would you feel? What would you do if it turned out that your entire life, your career, everything was a lie? That it's not like
I'm not even. No. Ask
What
me a
would
real
you do?
question. That's a non sequitur. I'm not even.
Well, let me ask
What would you
Rocket.
do?
Let me ask Rocket what I asked you guys earlier to see how honest he is.
It's
Rocket.
actually a flat Earth. You've been lied to. What would you do?
Yeah, what would you
I'm
do?
not playing this game.
Rocket,
I'm
can
not-
I ask you a
I'm not
question?
addressing that,
I'll ask you
okay?
a better question, Rocket.
I'm
Is it
gonna live in
possible?
denial.
Is it even Rocket? Is it even slightly possible that we have been told a lie about the
No.
Earth? Is it even possible?
No, you know why? What's it? Because I've tested it, and you can test it if you weren't such a dipshit and a
I have
coward.
tested it.
Poke Hunt can test it, but he's too lazy and stupid.
I have tested it. I've tested almost
Each
every
one
day.
of us has the
Tested
ability to
astronaut.
test it.
Where
This
did
is
you
nothing
test
secret
astronautics,
anymore.
You liar.
The tools are available to everybody.
Yeah, I
If they
test it
have
almost
the
every day.
balls
It's
to actually
called a
use it.
Nikon
You
P100, P1000.
transparent as fuck.
I test it every day. You guys never do.
What
You
have you
make no
done?
long distance
What
observations.
test have you done?
Right.
Long distance observations. Rocket scientists, how many have you made?
No. First of all, stop giving me your bullshit. What have you done with it?
I make long
Gaslighting
distance
rhetoric.
observations.
Which one? Where?
That
Off
we
the
never
coast of
see.
Florida, where we saw the lighthouse
Where?
from way far
That
away.
we never
location?
In Key West.
Post
we
a picture.
see-
Let's go. Post me a picture of your observation.
No, it's over
Oh,
on my
no,
computer,
we
man, and I
can't.
get the SD card.
Can't do it. Yeah.
I have
Because
Blow
downloaded
your
pictures.
name
I've
out
shown
and
them
show
on
your
my.
rocket
I've shown them on my
scientist
live
badge.
streams. You losers. You guys
Blow
are
your
losers.
name out and show your rocket
it's just
scientist
a
badge.
code.
You faggot.
I'm not
What did
doing
you
that.
do
Merle.
yourself?
How
You're
come
not
I
calling
can
me out. You
disregard
can fuck
any
off, okay?
other
Listen,
You're a
practical
faggot.
things
How
that
can
anyone
I
else
can
has
post
done?
my
Okay, we've got to think of the
right
audience,
now, but
guys.
you
There's 4 flatties against 1 baller, 1 rocket scientist, 1 expert, and I'm sure you want to get the
Merle,
votes up.
shut up. What are you, the
Merle, why do you
fucking
do that
MC
feel?
or something?
He's that hype
How
man.
come-
But there
basically,
is,
so he's
Emo,
got
nonetheless, there is
How
4 against
come I
1.
can-
inaccuracies they're
The
doing.
audience,
I'm still waiting for WITSIT's calculation. I'm
Yeah.
still waiting for anything from Merle to provide. Chemo's done fuck all. So like it can be 5 against 1, but every one of these Poke Hunt has done nothing.
Where's the
Aside from
demonstration
being
of astronaut?
We think we all know I don't need help
the
against
fact that
rocket
I
Where is the
science.
can't
demonstration
believe
of astronautics,
I
rocket
can't believe
science?
any of the science or physics.
Live
but
up to
from
your
me.
name and
But
show
they won't
us
go out there and do anything for
demonstration of
themselves.
astronautics.
Your
post
line of
picture.
attack is always
I mean,
the
if you
same.
got
put
if you have
shut
all
up,
this
dude.
evidence,
Shut up,
if you
dude.
have all this evidence,
You put
it should
people
be readily
down.
available.
You
for you to
try
post,
to
for you
take the
show
moral
us.
and intellectual high ground. You always fail. We've done plenty.
Well,
You're the one who
again,
does
So
fuck
okay,
all.
so what have
You
you done,
hide
Merle?
in Discord. You hide in
What have you-
Discord.
what have
You
you done,
pretend to
Merle?
be a rocket scientist. You'll never verify that.
What have you
You're
done, Merle?
fucking punked.
What
No
have you
one in
done,
this
Merle?
room believes you're a rocket
Have you
scientist.
tested your
Actually,
flat
I
Earth, Merle?
believe he's a rocket scientist, Mel, so you're already wrong.
I believe
You
he may be an
believe he's a
aeronautics
rocket-
rocket
I've got a
scientist,
very
rocket
but
good
definitely not
understanding of some of the
astronautics.
stuff. I'm in the middle of a fucking sentence, percentage. Please, come on, can we calm it
You
down?
paused, bro.
You
paused.
believe.
I took a breath.
Don't breathe.
Yeah,
You
so
don't know.
This is a
Mel,
zoo.
shut the fuck
You
up
can't
and let other
breathe, bro.
people talk. Come on, control yourself, man. So, I've had a number of discussions with Rocket. I'm happy that he is pretty much in the industry he says he is.
He's a
I think it's very possible he's a rocket pseudoscientist.
No, he's
opinion
got
of it
in
is,
aeronautics,
Mel.
definitely
He
aeronautics,
knows
but
the
not
job.
astronautics. Not a
Yeah,
chance.
yeah, aeronautics. Like he's an aerospace engineer.
I thought it was the
Big
game
deal.
porno industry. You think it's aeronautics?
He's probably an aerospace engineer. He's a rocket pseudoscientist.
A rocket pseudo.
Again, that's a lovely opinion.
He's
but
probably got a
again,
model of a rocket. in
nothing-
his
Rocket
bedroom.
really does work in
nothing
a
to do
rocket
with the
place
arguments that have been presented.
with stuff.
I'm sorry, you're just
How
doing
true it
personal
is.
attacks now.
But he does.
Guys, he just showed how dishonest he is. He said that it's not even slightly possible
Not a personal
that
attack.
they're wrong about the Earth. So,
Yeah, I
so
don't
like,
think it is. I think it's something that I've happily proven to myself beyond all reasonable doubt that the Earth is pretty much what it's described as.
okay, so you just said all reasonable doubt, then pretty much.
Yeah.
What a clown show, dude.
Because over history, the reason, let me just unpack that. The reason I say that, because over history, we've refined our measurements. We've got more accurate. We've got better descriptions. And I accept
So you could be wrong.
based on the things that I have studied, and I'm happy about that. And if you want to say, oh, Brady could be wrong because you're an absolute,
Mike, Johnny,
then fine.
It's not about me being an absolutist. It's about trying to see.
Here on Flat Earth Debate.
It's not about being an absolutist, right? My point is just to see, can we even have an intellectual conversation here? Because if you guys can't admit it's possible,
We have to understand the other people also. We cannot just take your understanding. We have to take all understanding in the place. If you cannot take all understanding in the place, then you are not comfortable to do anything.
Well,
listen,
you interrupted me for that.
Can we ask you that same question? Couldn't you be wrong?
Sure, it's possible that I'm wrong.
Do you know how people feel? The people's feeling is. Do you understand that? They have a love and understanding for others.
It's equal.
The way
It's
for
not-
you to prove to
it's
me,
not
or
only
if I was going to be
female
convinced
and
that
I
you're
guess this is where I get out of here.
I just don't think that many people use the ball map. That's just all that there is to it. I
No
think
one
it could be
uses it.
like half of a
Every
ball,
match, ball map.
but they don't. They're just doing little places.
I was
really
really quick.
Don,
Hey, Witsit,
I was
wouldn't
trying
it
to get in.
wouldn't it make sense? Wouldn't it make sense for you to have your evidence readily available for you to post?
No,
Instead of
because if
always
I
having
saw,
it-
listen,
instead of-
this is
instead
this
of always
that
having
sounds
it
good.
given the,
That sounds good. But if I brought something where I saw mountains from 400 miles away and clearly impossible on a globe Earth with the
I
size I
would
said
love
it is,
to see that.
what you guys would instantly do is say, no, it just refracted up. Instantly.
I would
Instantly.
love to see that.
You've
I would
seen
love
it
to see
before,
that.
bro. You've seen Mount Canagoo.
Earth is life.
I mean,
we do
I would
my
love to see
reality every
You've
day.
seen it before.
Yeah, there's
No,
limits to
Like,
reflection.
I would love to see. I mean,
hand-waved it,
yeah,
and
like
so
I'm
it
saying,
didn't
if you're
register.
saying you have evidence like that, you should be really quick to be
Bro,
able to
it's the
show
Mount
it.
We've all
Canagoo
got
photo.
evidence.
I've never
Guinness
seen
World
it.
Book
I'd
Records
like to
then.
see it.
If
they
it's
say?
refracted
I mean, hell, I have all my evidence right here on my phone. I can post it right now. So if you have
You're
evidence like
making
that,
the
it should be
mistake,
like quick.
B-ball, you're
You're like, hey,
making the
here it is.
mistake
Let me
of
see it.
weighing them equally. That's not how it is. A motionless Earth
Really, it's
and with
not
a
how it
straight
is.
horizon
So
is the
we ask for
default.
evidence.
Yes,
No, I
it's the
don't have-
default because
No, I don't
they are
have the evidence.
truisms
It's
that
on
we
my
observe.
SD card at
So
home.
the default,
No,
null
it's right over there.
hypothesis, is a motionless Earth with a straight horizon.
No, it's
You
not.
have
What
the
a bunch
burden
of
proof
crap
with
you're
your
putting out
positive
there.
claim.
Null hypothesis.
They're not weighted equally.
Yeah,
Fuck
so
off,
like
rhetoric.
what I'm saying is you guys have to at least admit that when distance observations won't do it for you guys, right? Because you have your excuse in the chamber that
Depends
you
on
will
what
say no
type.
matter what. You will blindly invoke refraction, saying that it looks flat, and we shouldn't be able to see that based on the curvature of the curvature math of the Earth. But actually, it just refracted up and made it look flat. It doesn't matter what we show you with long distance observation. It doesn't matter what we show you.
is,
We've seen the skyline of
should be
Chicago
able
from
to
60
present
miles
it.
away, and you said no, it just refracted up to make it look flat where we could see all of it.
WITSIT, the
We've seen
point
mountains
is
from
you should
200
be able
miles
to
away,
present-
supposed to be hidden by 1 mile of Earth curve, and you say no, it just
I would-
refracted up and made it look like that.
We would love to see it so we could talk about it, so we could analyze it.
There is no
but
talking
why
about
is
it. You will
so hard
hand
for you
wave
to-
dismiss it to refraction.
No, okay, so how do you know that? That we just
Because
hand wave
you've
this-
done it for
Because
years.
that's what you do.
Hey,
You're a
well, let me
reality
do it.
denier.
Let me see it, and then
Okay,
hand wave
watch. I'll show
dismiss
you
it.
right now. Hey, Earth is life. Whenever we saw the skyline of Chicago from 60
No, I
miles
want to see
away,
the picture.
and it was supposed
You
to be
just claimed you
completely
had a
obstructed by
4
Earth
miles.
curvature, how did that happen on a ball?
No, I want to see you post your picture you just claimed to see mountains from 400 miles away.
I didn't say I had an observation of mountains 400 miles away.
Well, I
I
want
said,
to see some of your. Let me see one of your observations.
yeah, there's an infamous place in Key West, right, that I have observation of a lighthouse. I don't care. I'll run errands for you, man.
How do you not
This is
have
why.
this stuff readily available?
Because I'm on
What's
an
so hard
iPad
about-
right now, dude. I'm on an iPad.
Yeah, but you've dedicated your life to debunking globe Earth.
Yeah, I've already debunked it. Dude, you can take time lapse of the star trails over a marine horizon and debunk the globe Earth. It's laughable.
You should
Laughable.
have your hundreds of pictures on your phone. I do. I've got
Okay,
freaking.
that's a cool story. That's a cool story. Okay, so I don't put all that stuff on my phone because I have tons of content that I. That's why you interrupt.
Right.
I get it. You're a loser, and you don't want to hear what I have to say because you want to make up a story
No,
about
I want to
what's
see
really
your
going on.
evidence. That's all I
But
want
the
to see.
truth is, I can't put it on my phone because I have hundreds of hours of content external to the
So do
observations
I.
on my phone, and so
So
no, you
do
don't.
I.
No, you don't. So
Yes,
here's
I
the
do.
deal.
Yes, I do.
All I'm saying is I'm not gonna go run errands for you guys while I know for a fact you won't be honest about it. We've seen the Chicago skyline from 60 miles away, and we shouldn't have seen it at all. And you guys say, well, it's just refraction. We've seen mountains from 200 miles away, where it should be hidden by 1 mile of vertical obstruction.
No,
and
those
you guys say,
200,
oh no, it's just
those
refraction.
200
It's just
mile
refraction.
away pictures, you understand, are taken from the top. They're the very tops of mountains taken from the tops of other mountains.
Yeah, and you do agree that still has a curvature rate.
Right, but they're within the line of sight, or at least within the line of sight with a small amount of refraction on those very
Oh, yeah,
long
there you
range
go.
photography
Refraction.
photos.
A quote unquote small amount, which means it had to lift it up a mile.
No, I don't think it's nearly that much. It's not 5,000 feet.
Okay, well,
It's
I
not
don't care
that
what you
much.
think.
In fact,
yeah, it is. So
look at the math again. But I remember it being actually even within.
1,000 feet is pretty close to a mile. Let's face it, Jake.
No. I don't think it was that much. Though I don't think there needed to be that much refraction.
So, guys, do you agree that long distance observations won't prove it to you? Just be honest.
No, dude.
Because refraction always, it's flexible.
Guys,
Always,
this
So if it's hold on. If it's been refracted up, if it's been refracted, where's the bit of Earth that it's actually covering up? Then where's that gone?
Right. That's a good question,
But I
man.
mean,
That's,
again-
I took the picture of the Conica picture. I laid the math on there. I showed that the horizon, using only standard refraction, will give you a horizon that's somewhere in the middle of both those positions, which you see because you see the mountains are obstructed by the water in front of it, and you see the top tip of the mountain over on the other side. And so the picture is actually describing exactly what you would expect on the globe, perfectly.
So where's the bit of Earth gone that it's covering up, that it's refracted up to?
That's
Where's
the
that
water
gone?
that's in between. That's the water that's in between you and the other
What
mountain.
if
That's
it's not
obstructed the
water?
bottom of the
What
mountain.
if it's land? Where's the land gone? You
Dude,
can't have
imagine
something
like
coming
stalking
up
my YouTube to
and
get pictures
covering
for
up
memes. What a bunch of
something
it.
that is already there, can you?
Hey, I'm just asking an honest question, right? Like, guy, my question is very simple. Guys, do you agree that a long distance observation will not prove to you that the Earth's not a ball? You will not accept that as evidence, right?
Some of them do, some
That's
of
not
them
true.
don't. 50-50.
If they're being honest, none of them will accept it as
If I
evidence
saw
because
refraction-
refraction,
if I saw-
they'll always say that refraction is allowing for it.
Yep.
If I saw a sufficiently long enough photo, I would have to be
What's sufficiently long enough? How far is that?
How
like
many
a
degrees
1,000
of
miles
refraction
from
wouldn't be enough?
50 feet up or something. I don't know.
And it strongly
So you have to
depends
see
on the
1,000 miles
strongly
from 50
depends on the
feet up.
observers, and it
Yeah,
strongly
if you can
depends
see
on the
Mount
observer's
Everest-
altitude and conditions
If it
that day.
requires 1 degree of refraction to explain on the globe, is that too much?
No, if you could see Mount Everest from like I don't know, let's say the Alps, you know, if you could see Mount Everest, I'd be like, damn.
Well, you know that's not how it would work
Coach,
on a
let's
flat
answer
Earth,
it
right?
in terms of degrees of refraction that would allow for it on a globe. How much degrees of refraction? How many degrees is too much? So is 1 degree too much?
I wouldn't look at it like that because that would be fucking retarded. I would just look at like how far something is and be like,
we
that's
need to
really
know
far
how much.
away.
What's the maximum you allow for a globe in terms of refraction?
Hold on. Percent, you're right, because when you go to do a job, right? When you go to do a job, you do your maximum and minimum demand. So what he's asking for is what is the maximum distance you should be able to see, given the maximum refraction that you can get from the atmosphere of the Earth. So we can, if we can get past the absolute maximum you could exceed on a globe, then that will be the distance, wouldn't it? Then we can get the distance that WITSIT's looking for.
And he just said 1,000 miles at 50
actually
feet. Like
answer
we wouldn't
Percent's
expect to
question,
see that
because
on a
nobody
flat
wanted
Earth
to,
because at 50
was
feet
that-
you'll be looking through the more dense aspect of the atmosphere. The more dense. So to think that you could see 1,000 miles at 50 feet on a flat Earth is being disingenuous, and that's all the Glovers can do.
Well,
So to actually answer Percent's question, because nobody else wanted to,
Remember, you're the one that
is
told me what the degree is on.
Guys, let that guy answer Percent's question. No, let that guy answer it. He said
I'm
he
sorry.
knows the answers. That guy said he knows the
to
answer.
answer Percent's question, the typical terrestrial refraction we see by angular measure is no more than 0.1 degrees.
Mm-hmm. And
So we see way more than that.
Black Swan is 1/4 of a degree, I think.
If I could at least
hold up,
if I could at least see
come on,
the bottom of buildings from 15 miles away,
Let Percent. This guy
then I might
I want to learn some. I don't want to hear no one's feelings. Go on, you two sort.
So, Doofus, what is the degree of refraction in the Black Swan that would be necessary to explain it on a globe?
I'd have to look that one up again. I didn't do the work on that. That was Mick West.
He told me it was a fraction of 1 degree, like maybe half a degree or 1/4 of a degree or something. I don't remember.
Say that again. I'm sorry. I was in the middle of talking when you started.
You told me in the past, and you said it was a fraction of a degree, like half of a degree or something, and I don't remember the exact value. But
Yeah,
again,
when you've
I'll
got
look-
more atmosphere and you're looking at celestial objects, it's usually about half a degree right at the horizon, about 35, 37 arc minutes.
Okay. Now, so I'll
For
ask
terrestrial
you,
objects, it's much less.
Yeah. So I'll ask you, what would you say is the maximum degrees of refraction that the globe allows?
Depends on the conditions, but typically you shouldn't see anything more than half a degree. That would be extreme refraction.
Okay. Do the rest of you Globers agree with him that half a degree should be the maximum?
Yep.
So basically, if we find something that's 0.6 degrees or 0.75 degrees, it would be impossible on a globe, and you guys would be flat earthers.
That would require you to
Hang on.
for
Now you guys are being rude. So what would the
now you're just talking
ballers
about
need?
extreme
Hang on.
conditions.
Now you guys are being rude. See, I was being patient. So what would the ballers need to come to the flat Earth?
I would need to see the observations that I made. I would need to see the entire building from top to bottom, as well as the island in front of the building from 15 miles away.
No obstruction.
No obstruction at all.
I've got an observation of that right on my channel right now.
Okay, post it, please. And I need to know the observer height
Yeah.
and distance.
Okay.
While he's doing that, so if half a degree is extreme refraction, then 0.6 degrees would be what? Almost impossible refraction? 0.75 degrees.
I wouldn't even.
Like, how much is too
I don't know why you said
impossibly
extreme refraction.
extreme for the globe?
That's like the normal refraction at the horizon is 0.5 degrees for the sun and the moon. So I wouldn't call it the most extreme, just because it's.
You're
it's like
disagreeing
the
with Doofus then, because you just said that was.
I'm disagreeing. I'm disagreeing that that I would call it the most severe. That it's the most the maximum refraction, because that's the for refraction at
you said extreme.
at the position and in the part of the day where it's definitely the maximum for that given day. But
It's
I mean, I don't
particularly
imagine that that's
extreme. It would be particularly extreme for anything that's terrestrial, anything that you can see within the next, 500 miles. It would be half a degree would be a lot.
So
every
doofus.
morning, yeah. Hold on.
Don't
Hold on.
forget,
Hold on. Hold
things,
on. Hold on. Hold on.
things like the St.
Go show,
Hellion
Just make
eclipses.
sure you listen, because what they're saying is you don't seem to be understanding what they're saying. Okay? Go on, continue. Sorry.
Doofus, what would you need to come to the flat Earth?
Data, usually numbers, measurements of some kind, which is usually absent.
Okay, that's fair enough.
Hey, Merle, so you posted a video with no observer height. What am I supposed to get from that? It looks like they're actually pretty high off the water.
It's a drone, isn't it?
No obstruction.
Yeah, but what's the observer height? And what's the distance?
22 kilometers.
And what's the observer height?
Do you really need the observer height?
Yeah, that that's pretty important.
It's
Would
a
it
basic
matter?
geometric concept on a sphere. The higher you are, the further you see.
Okay, so the higher I am, the more I see.
Yes.
Where's the curve?
Lower down, you can't see the thing.
Now you're making excuses.
Oh God.